I'm just sending it here right now because I don't have the energy to type it out. Wait, let me just check if what I'm saying is audible or if the fan is. Yeah, so I was thinking that, maybe being a dying man is better than not being one. Shit! I was coughing really hard the other day, and for a second it flitted across my mind. Fuck, maybe I have lung cancer. And although the thought was, of course, a momentarily sarcastic fantasy, it made me wonder, what if I actually had lung cancer? What if I was a dying man? What would I do? So I thought that, maybe doing something big and having a reason to live would make me want to live a bit longer. Some Walter White kind of shit. So I wondered what my reason for being alive would be, a last-ditch effort to make something of my life before I die. And a few ideas floated across my mind. Finally working on that business plan I had been putting off for a year. Making a bunch of money and giving it to my friends and family. Handing over my business to someone I care about so I would have at least accomplished something in my life before I die. But then half a second later I realized there's no way I would want to do that. I'm not gonna be setting up a lifeless corporate entity in my last moments. So then I thought some more, and came to the conclusion that I'd like to spend my last days with a pen and diary in hand, going to mountains and rivers and forests, and writing and drawing. I would write poetry and stories and the beautiful things I've seen and learned. I'd spend my days with the people I care about the most and tell them how much they mean to me and love them wholly. But if I were to look towards the future and look at what I'd want my life to amount to, like what the greatest crowning achievement of my life would be if I'm on my deathbed at the age of 90, it would probably be the list of poetry that I would write down in my last days. So in a way, if I were a dying man in this moment, all my life would amount to these things which I choose to do in the last moments. Even if I was not a dying man, it would still be these things which I value enough to still perform them close to my death. It would be these things which my life would amount to, what I would consider to be worth from the years I've lived. None of the other things I'd have done along the way would have mattered as much, or would matter as much than the thing I would have done if I knew I was dying. So maybe being a dying man is better after all, or rather, knowing you are a dying man. Most people live in a great misconception, and that misconception is in the sentence I just spoke. It's a matter of perspective, really. It's not that you are living right now, but rather you are dying. You will die at some point, everyone will. Death, it's the end destination of every life, the full stop to every sentence. Living is just a process of dying. You are born, and from that point onwards begins your journey towards death. To believe you're living is to start writing a sentence but forgetting the fact that grammar will necessitate a full stop at some point. And when you forget that and your sentence stretches out forever from where you stand, since you cannot see the end as you live letter by letter, the full stop suddenly arrives and your sentence reaches its end. And if you are not mindful of how close that full stop was, maybe your sentence ended without having said anything meaningful at all. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. I think I made the main crux of my argument like 4 voice messages earlier when I was talking about how everyone's a dying person and they just don't realize it, and people who realize that they are dying are the truly blessed ones because they have the knowledge of it, whereas the other people are just living in naivety. So people who are truly dying can do things that actually matter. And yeah, that was my main argument. I don't even know what I'm saying on at this point. I should have slept 3 fucking hours ago. I don't know what I've done since then. Fucking watch videos, jack off, and listen to old Japanese songs while lying on my bed. Yeah, good night.